A close look at the quarterbacks. J-Mac is here. Dan Orlovsky is here. And Ty Simpson has been a fascinating person in this draft, going back to the middle part of the season where he seemed to be trending towards QB1.
Yeah.
And then the season went on, and there became no question that Fernando Mendoza is going to be the first quarterback taken in this draft. Certainly that is at least the conventional wisdom, and Ty Simpson could fall anywhere in the first round. You have looked at the tapes. What are you seeing?
I think Ty Simpson is QB1. I think Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this class. I think when you look at the body of work and what was asked of these two quarterbacks, you have to start with the question, who needed to do more to carry their football team to play well? Ty Simpson, and it's not close between those two quarterbacks. Who took more games over throughout the course of the season? Ty Simpson. It's not even close. And if we're asking, like, okay, we're trying to see what you are as a player in college and what you're going to be asked to do in the NFL and what translates, I start with what do you do in moments of panic with the football? Because that's really what separates good to great. I would tell you that Ty Simpson is more consistent in that regard. There's not a ton of moments of panic out of Fernando Mendoza. And then there's moments when he immediately drops his eyes and becomes a runner. Ty Simpson more consistent in that. What guy was asked to do more NFL throws? When I say NFL throws, I'm talking 15, 20, 25-yard in routes, crossing routes, deep corner or sail routes. Ty Simpson, and it's not even close in that regard. Downfield throws, the posts and the goes, I think they're close. Mendoza throws a lot of go routes, and he's good at it, but I think they're close. RPO, get it out, that's predominantly what Mendoza's offense was.
Right.
And then I think throwing on the move, they're both relatively equal. So when it comes to moments of panic and big throws, real NFL throws, I think it's clearly Ty Simpson.
So it is, I mean, to be clear, this will get a lot of attention that you feel this way because you are, at this point, I think one of the people whose opinions on this stuff matter the most. And everyone has their opinion, and this is certainly going to be an unconventional one. But you're comfortable saying if you had the choice between the two of them, you would take Ty right now.
I would much rather have Ty, and I like Fernando Mendoza. This is not to slight Mendoza.
Yeah.
I would rather have Ty Simpson at the 15 to 20 range than Fernando Mendoza at 1.
And it feels like that's the way that it is trending.
Can I ask you a question just on what you're saying? Are you slighting Mendoza because of how good his team was, that he maybe wasn't asked to do some of those things? Because for Indiana to win these football games, we don't necessarily need you to make some of these throws because whatever our game plan is going to put us in. Like, is that a slight to Mendoza?
Well, or
what you're saying is that I don't see the translation of him maybe being able to do some of those things at the next level?
It's not a slight to Mendoza. It's the reality.
Yeah.
It's hard to find one game that you sit there and go, Mendoza was the best player on the field. Either team. Maybe the Ohio State Big Ten title game, and even then there's like 2 throws in that game. But you go cut on the Vandy, Missouri, Wisconsin, first Georgia game, you're going, Ty Simpson looks like the best player on the field. And the only reason Alabama's in the game. And so he just wasn't asked to do a lot. And so I think it's really hard to watch the tape from Indiana this year and sit there and go, all the things that we're going to ask the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick to do, there's just not a ton of examples of it.
Let's roll the tape. You have tape put together for it. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to those NFL throws and seeing NFL defenses, Simpson's great. Up top, double post concept. We're down in the red zone. Safety to the right side of the screen. Ball's to come out right now. It's got to be put on that guy's face. J-Mac, you know that's an NFL throw in an NFL window.
Absolutely.
You go against Georgia. This is great. Operation at the line of scrimmage. Ty Simpson sees pressure off of his right. I want to change the play. I now have to communicate to everybody, go to a different play, go to a different play. Now watch the defense. They're also going to change as well. So it went from pressure to now looks like man-to-man, meaning one safety in the middle field, everybody's playing a guy. Ty Simpson then has to change the play again. All right, we want to change the play to a different option. The defense is showing me one safety, man-to-man. Let's throw an out route. Look at the defense again. They're all changing once again. This is the processing and information. He wants to throw an out route versus man coverage to the bottom of the screen. It's 3rd and 5. The defense is going to play cover 2, not man. Safety go to the half in zone, corner sit there. Can't throw the out route. You got to rip the whole shot. That is elite quarterback operation.
Yeah.
And here's the difference maker for me also. I know from tape, Ty Simpson can process information pre and post snap. From Mendoza's tape, I know he can process information pre-snap. He's not asked to process a ton of information post-snap.
Because he plays for Alabama, you've probably seen him play a lot on TV. Ty Simpson started just 1 year. He's been there for several years, but started just 1 year. His dad has been for 20 years a head coach on the collegiate level at UT Martin, so football is in the family blood, all the rest of that. There isn't any question. I see the question on the screen. I mean, in every single person that you talk to says Mendoza's going to go number one. That's not the conversation that I think we're having. The conversation that I think we're having is, do we think Ty Simpson is suddenly going to become a player where he goes in play a lot earlier than we thought? People who root for the Jets all seem convinced he's going to be there at 16.
If he was 6'4", the Jets would run to the podium.
That's okay. So Mel Kiper has said to me a million times, if Russell Wilson had been 6'4", he would have gone in the top 2 of that draft instead of in the third round.
I get that.
And so size is a factor in all of this stuff. What do you think, J. Mac, as far as how early we might hear his name called in the draft?
See, I love the thought of the Jets drafting him at 16. Dan just said that. He talked about 15 to 32 in that first round. If I'm the New York Jets, you look at their situation right now. You just brought Geno Smith back to the New York Jets. You have a veteran in the room at that quarterback position. That buys you a year or two for a quarterback like Ty Simpson, who only had 15 starts in college. And to Dan's point, that last play was unbelievable, the back and forth, and that's the chess match that goes on within an NFL game. You give him time to develop and learn from a veteran quarterback while you're building a team and an infrastructure around the quarterback position. You're now setting him up to succeed. So I think the traits that we've seen from him in college allows him to get drafted to a team in a situation like the Jets, who have a veteran quarterback, and allows him to continue to grow.
I agree with the Jets, and I've said, if you're the Jets and you take him at 16 and all of a sudden you don't like him, you got 3 1s next year to address the situation again. I've said this, Cardinals trading back and acquiring him, I like at some point in the middle to the later part of the first round. I think Minnesota's absolutely in conversation. I know that might sound outrageous. They absolutely should be in conversation.
They've got a lot of quarterbacks already.
Miami should be in conversation. Atlanta probably can't get him because they don't have a first-round pick. I don't think the Steelers are going to take him because I think Aaron's going to play for them and the Jets. So I think there's 4 or 5 teams that are just going to get into that conversation. I ask you this as a Jets fan.
Yeah.
If I told you were going to draft Baker Mayfield at 16, would you take it?
Yes, of course.
Brock Purdy at 16,
the player that he's turned
it?
into. Yes, of course.
That's who this young man reminds me of.
Yeah, I think the interesting question, 16 is the exact middle point of the first round. It's a fascinating, will he be gone by the time we get to the midway point of the first round?
Fascinating to me that you just said Pittsburgh, but said I think Aaron will be back, so they won't draft him. To me, if Aaron is back, it makes sense to draft him because now you have that veteran in the room where you don't have to play right away.
A lot of sense. There's been a lot of things that make sense in Pittsburgh a couple years
that don't always happen. Okay, a fascinating take there. I don't think you're the only person who feels that way. Let me run the floor through the women's NCAA tournament. Of course, the action continues today. We had a buzzer beater yesterday in Minneapolis. A Maya battle right here, fadeaway jumper as time expires. Minnesota beats Ole Miss 65-63. Golden Gophers in the Sweet 16 for the first time.